Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope that you guys are all having a good start to your Monday. Sorry again for the delay this morning. Want to show you guys this real quick. We'll let everyone kind of start tuning in, and then we can kind of go from there. But based on a position that I took on Friday and how it opened up today, right now I'm currently down on this specific position. So this is for LABU. It wasn't a huge position. It was about 40% of what my normal position is, or normally is, right? It's selling off as of right now. Um, yeah, as of right now, no signs of a solid uptrend or anything like that. Let's give it a little bit more time. We got a pretty aggressive sell-off on WTI. We could see that it sold off down to $6.75. It's starting to push up. It's still below that EMA line. Okay, FRAC just made new lows. If that's starting to sell off even more, then wow. Okay, so it just hit lows of $13. Looks like it's still selling off. WTI should probably almost be following. No, WTI, it's looking like it's pushing up. Is my? Okay, there we go. So GBR, people keep talking about that. Okay. I would be very careful with something like this that has moved up so aggressively. Um, as you guys can see right now, it's still showing signs of an uptrend. It's trading in between the middle and top VWAP, but just taking into consideration on how much it has to sell off. If you see any potential break of pattern as it's doing that, then it probably wouldn't be the best idea to hold that specific position. So just something to take into consideration. Yeah. Um, yeah. Here we go. All right, LABU trying to hold above the middle VWAP. I have a series of alerts set to see if it starts breaking above a certain price point. Not huge signs of kind of what it is that I wanted to see. It almost shows signs of a rejection off this EMA, and what we were hoping to get was a bounce off the EMA. So kind of like quite the opposite of what it is that we wanted. JDSTs is bouncing back up. Wow, this thing is pushing up. All right. Okay. Here comes you guys. Wow. Do you guys see how aggressive this sell-off is? Yeah. So the usual support is right around, and we can go to you guys for this, is right around $62. From 62 to highs of 68. That's the normal range. As of right now, you guys have sold up. Again, I'm going to try to be super patient with pretty much as many of my positions as I could or can this week. So I'm going to be extremely picky. So I'm going to set my alert for the break above $60, and if it recovers, great. We're back in range of where it normally trades at, so we can come from that. And what also we'll do is we'll set an alert if it breaks below, honestly, $60. All right. There we go. WTI finally selling off a little bit. Let's see if we can get a nice little sell-off, bounce, and then recovery. Very quick, a pattern that I've picked up about WTI. I traded it almost every single day last week. And the thing that I find pretty attractive about WTI, or when it's normally good to trade, is within the it's that it tends to recover and push up during the first couple of hours of the market, and then it begins to sell off and usually sells off for the entire day. So again, it's not going to be like this almost every single time, but as you can see, it pushed up and then it sells off, right? If it has a very aggressive push up, then just know that it almost sells off for the remainder of the day. When it pushed up and it sold off and it continued to show signs of a descending pattern, same thing that happened on Friday, right? So as of right now, it's pushing up great. Just make sure that you take into consideration, again, it pulled back, bounce above the EMA line, potential good entry, top view out, potential exit, right? Or if you think that it's going to go back to about 720, which is the normal resistance, that's 4.5% potential for profit. That's definitely not bad. LABU just got the alert that it broke above that, about 93.50. So I can show you guys how much it is that I'm currently down. So $211.50 on the day. Definitely not how I would like to start the week for the new month, but again, it's actually not that bad if we want to put it in that perspective. But it's still something that where I could have locked in profits on Friday and started fresh on Monday. So something to work on, right? We have our alert set here. Let's see if it makes higher highs. Good morning, Mike. What's up? What's up? I like that. What's going on, Focus? I don't know your name. I don't know if you want to share your name with us, but we'd love to. So something that I find pretty attractive as of right now, can you guys all guess what it is for ticker symbol WTI? Is first of all, we talked about this one. Wow. LABU is pushing up. Perfect. It's trying to make a statement. Okay. Watch out for the potential resistance. I'm telling you this as someone that's invested in it as of right now. Watch out for a potential sell at around 94.51. So 94.51, the reason why, or 50, is due to this overall resistance that the SMA indicator might, have on LABU. Just something to take into consideration. So the thing that I like about WTI as of right now is on this 180-day chart, it's showing signs of an uptrend pattern. It does pull back, and it usually sells off during the first couple of hours of during pre-market hours or right at market open and stuff like that. But on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, even if you wanted to treat it specifically as a day trade, the thing that I find very attractive is, okay, so first of all, I try to identify a pattern, first step, right? We can identify the low points, right? And we can identify the high points, right? So let's say 720 to 730 are so-called the high points. On the 1 day, 1 minute chart, it's showing signs of a recovery, right? So there's this range from like even 710 to 720 is normally where it trades at. So let's say that is sell territory, right? Because it sold off so aggressively, if it continues to hold above this middle view up and this EMA line and trend up, right? The margin of profit, even with not being at the best entry at $6.95, right? And selling at an average of $7.15, 2.9% potential for profit. Definitely not bad, right? With one specific day trade. It's showing signs of an uptrend pattern, it's holding above the EMA line, and as long as it continues to hold above this, great. If it starts to sell off and break below this, then that is a break of pattern, and it's going to be very easy to identify that, so then we could not have to worry about it. All right. Watch out for the potential rejection. I'm again reminding you that it might not be the best. What's it called? There we go. It's trying to push up, make higher highs for the as it's pushing up. Let's see if it does. The MACD almost looks like a peak formation. So we might see a little bit of a sell-off. Let's follow up with it. I like that. Ooh, there we go. WTI pushing up, made higher highs as it's beginning to recover, and you could see why it struggled to break that specific price point so aggressively. So let's see if we can get a nice little push. The thing that I don't like too much about what's going on right now is this momentum really needs to start picking up, because if it doesn't, the MACD is starting to show signs of a peak formation. Can we all see that? Okay, there it goes. It just made a higher bar, which is something that we want to see if we want WTI to continue to uptrend. But it needs to continue to uptrend at a certain pace, and if it doesn't, then the momentum will end up catching up with it. Wow. Okay. There we go. All right. Nice little recovery. Here we go. And we're green. All right, let's check it out on how it's looking. Okay, it's looking to show signs of a potential recovery. Should I be patient with this? Because I definitely did not get in at the best entry. There's no question about that. I was down, I was down about 4%. I think I should wait a little bit more for a confirmation. I think I focused a little bit too much in getting in too early. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree with me? The EMA line is not pointing up. It hasn't confirmed the overall uptrend. There we go. WTI just broke above $7, just like we called it out. 703 as of right now. Nice little push to 705. Watch out for the potential resistance around the SMA indicator. Watch out for a potential sell-off, right? And then bounce on the EMA line and push up, right? I see the MACD indicator looks pretty overextended. You can see that the RSI, there is no question, it does look overextended. I'm just going to play it safe. All right, let's see. I know, I'm focusing on the wrong one, huh? Of course. All right, so sold at what was that? 95.81, and of course it pushes up to $96 when I sell. Oh. It's gonna most likely it should be selling off soon, but we all know that I do an amazing job selling. There we go, selling way too early. So just broke above $96.11. Here comes the sell-off. Boom, boom, boom. Here's a sell-off. Let's see if we can get a bounce. Let's wait for the bounce. Definitely makes sense on why it pushed up, sold off. We're getting a bounce here. /CL. Oh no, this isn't a good sign for WTI. Just broke below its support. $100%. It's better to exit early than late. I agree. honestly, we didn't do a bad job, right? We sold at 95.84, whatever that was, and it pushed up to $96. So solid there. FRAC starting to show signs of consolidation. Again, potential recovery. Let's look at the 5-day, 5-minute analysis. Let's look at the 10-day, 20-day. Again, it's showing signs of a descending pattern. You guys can see that the SMA line normally acts as a resistance. Let's set an alert for a potential reversal, and then we'll follow up with it then. If we get a confirmation for a reversal, then great. If not, then, let's not worry about it. Wow, this thing's sold off. You can see that the MACD bar is definitely sold off quite a bit. Oh, I know, right? It sucks. Is this going to be a bounce? Can we get a bounce? Let's see. So this is going to be for a day trade. All right, so what I'm doing here is, what the, right. And this is, that was my mistake. If you guys saw that, I should have been filled at $6.95. Again, I waited for the sell off. So there's 3 steps on that one. Sold off, waited for the bounce, waited for the break above the EMA line, and then I should have entered the position after the confirmation. That did not happen, right? Let's see what happens. All right, perfect. Here we go. We're getting some consolidation right around $96. JDST showing signs of a sell-off. This is all like day trade. What I'm really going to focus on, especially I think the part that's going to be the most important for a majority of our group that's following us because of the stock market growth challenge. I'm going to give you guys a quick little update on what I'm waiting for and kind of go based off of that. Is that okay? Okay, sweet. So we're doing a couple day trades, and then I want to plan something out for a swing trade, and then we can go from there. Appreciate that. Thank you, guys. See if we can get a nice little push up. There we go. The MACD bars are starting to catch up a little bit. So if it continues to struggle at $7, I'm going to have to visit the idea of selling back at where I bought it at. GBR halted, not surprised. Again, I think we did a really solid job. Again, just selling that there. Right here, watch out for this potential reversal. Just a nice little friendly reminder. Again, make sure that this makes sense to you. If it doesn't, please do not trade it. We could see that on the 20-day 1-hour analysis. Normally where it gets rejected, again, that's this area. So again, I would set an alert even a little bit below that, just so if it gets even relatively close, you have the idea of locking in profits. That's around 1350. So that's right around here. Looks like the SMA line is there red as well. So let's say we wait all the way to 1310 to 1350. That's 3%. I think the MACD indicator bar is pushing up pretty aggressively though. There we go. Just broke above $13. Yep, that's actually one of the ones that I'm going to talk about in just a bit, Brian. Thank you again for the reminder. Watching out for this potential sell-off that might happen. Again, resistance right now at $7. It's really struggling to break above that. Perfect LABU is starting to show signs of a rejection and resistance at $96. So we did a really good job exiting there, and there it goes. FRAC, just like we call it out, showing signs of a potential reversal. 3 stages in a reversal, like we've talked about multiple times. Rejection, when it holds below the EMA line. Consolidation, when it starts to no longer make lower lows, right, but starts to flatline. And then you'll see that it flatlines with the support and with the resistance. And then all of a sudden you'll start seeing it break the resistance and start making higher highs. This is the confirmation of the potential uptrend. And then just based on my personal preference, does not mean that this is something that you personally have to follow, is that it starts to break above the EMA line and that middle VWAP. If something is trading in between the middle VWAP and top VWAP, that based on my experience is signs of a potential intraday uptrend. As of right now, because it's trying to push up, there's and the middle VWAP is right there. As you guys can see, it almost perfectly got rejected at the middle VWAP, right? Pushes up, touches the middle VWAP, gets rejected. And because of that, comes a sell-off. All right, we're back at that middle VWAP. Again, as it's pushing up, selling off, bouncing here. So I'm down about 1%, and look at that potential bounce. Is it going to bounce or is it not, right? So it's sold off at a potential area where it's going to bounce intraday, and it's showing signs of a green candle trying to hold above that middle VWAP. Does not mean that it actually has to. It just means that it's there. So WTI sell-off, yep. Following closely. Here we go again, FRAC. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set my alert. I not only want it to break above the middle VWAP, but I want it to start breaking resistance levels, right? To hit highs probably of 310, it'll get rejected, bounce back at the middle VWAP, and then continue to uptrend. So that's going to be the plan. I want it to get relatively close, and there. And also the reason that I kind of found it to be somewhat of at a peak is, again, the MACD indicator. Did you guys see how I called that out with the MACD showing signs of a peak formation? Then we saw the bar start signaling a potential reversal intraday. Again, you never want to solely rely on any indicator, but there was a series of different things. There's the MACD indicator, right, that signaled that. There is the middle VWAP, right, that indicated that. And we're at $13, right, which is like a price point of where it can potentially struggle. So all right. Still showing signs of an uptrend for ticker symbol HCC. Still holding above this EMA line. So that's great and all. It's sold off, bounced, starting to show signs of a potential recovery. And one thing that we can set an alert for is for when it starts to break back above that $27 price point. I'm personally probably not going to trade this. I just wanted to talk about it because it was actively trending up. So again, because this is my active watch list, I'm going to remove it so I can focus on what I see the most value in. Okay? I'm going to set an alert. It's showing signs of a peak formation. So perfect. Wow, WTI sold off as well. So again, for potential sell-off, it might bounce at around this area. So that's why I have these alerts set. Just trying to explain for what it is that I'm doing. Yep, there it goes. Let's see if it could push up, and if it pushes up, I'm probably going to have to exit. But it's showing signs of a sell-off. Yeah, it's making lower lows. Do you guys see this? How it's making lower lows. That first pattern that I saw value of it actively trending up. I try to give it the benefit of the doubt as it, pushed up above, the middle VWAP. It really struggled to break above $7, and then it started selling off, right? Making lower lows, breaking the middle VWAP as a support, and stuff like that. Yeah, and then FRAC making new lows. Yep, rejection again in between the middle and bottom VWAP. That's why it's so important to wait for the confirmation, and we've talked about this in the course. So again, I know a lot of you guys have just started it. So go through the entire course. It's going to cover, this as well about how to do the day trades and how to be able to read the VWAP indicator and how to focus on middle and top VWAP indicator. And it looks like it just needed to sell off. The MACD indicator definitely had some room for that sell-off. So it makes sense, right? My entry, not the best. What a surprise, right? I think I do that a little bit too often. Yeah, so well, Mom Spaghetti, so is Ricky trying to day trade these stocks? Remember that I said with my TD Ameritrade account, I still want to focus on like quality, right? But when it comes down to day trades, this is the one that I'm going to most likely do day trades on. The stock market growth challenge, that's going to be on my Fidelity account. So with that Fidelity account, I'm going to focus on short-term swing trades and to the 1 to 2 positions for the entire week. Does that make sense? So I'm going to have one that's more that's something that more people can follow when it comes down to the growth process and the trading limitation due to that one being under $25,000. Perfect. Selling off right here. I like it. There we go. WTI trying to push up. We'll see if we can actually get a reversal. It might get rejected. Again, just like FRAC got rejected at middle VWAP and EMA line. It's not far-fetched for this thing to get rejected. So right now you could be like on high alert. I'm not necessarily too worried. I know that based on previous patterns, just looking at just the low points of where normally WTI is at and the high points and stuff like that, and the overall direction, right? It has a lot of margin to cover, and I know that it would just be a matter of time. But I obviously would like to get out of it today if possible. Yeah. Yeah, 100% done. Yeah, did you mention something about an app last night? Yep, that's something that we'll follow up with is one of our partners for one of the applications that we're working on, Mackenzie, is finishing it up just so you guys have the ability. It's going to be, it's going to go into correlation with the stock market growth challenge and how I'll be able to track my trades, how everyone will be able to track my trades as well very easily, as well as track your own. Yeah. Yeah, I should have an alert for H2Z. No signs of an uptrend now. Still showing signs of a sell-off. It's definitely becoming more in the potential reversal stage, right? Good deal range, if that's what we want to call it. But it's still trading in between the middle and bottom VWAP, so I'm not a huge fan of that. and it's actively trending down. So it would make more sense for me to wait for it to push up and continuously push up rather than try to trade something that's aggressively descending. I do see that it is oversold, but yeah. Yeah. Jamila, there's actually a video on YouTube that is called the Stock Market Growth Challenge. I think I talked about it on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, Friday night. Uh, I don't know if it was Friday night or Friday morning. I would check my uploads, and it says Stock Market Growth Challenge. So I discuss where you can find the Excel sheet. I discuss the certain like rules and stuff like that that I'm gonna follow myself and stuff like that. So nothing that you necessarily have to follow. The whole point of it is just to focus on consistent growth. And yeah. Appreciate that. Looks like, yeah, definitely looks like DGAS is still showing signs of an uptrend. I can't imagine how happy all of you are that we're swing trading DGAS. It obviously made sense that Diaz was more on the overbought side, but as like I don't know, like I think it makes sense to you guys though, right? Let me actually talk to you about this. You guys have noticed that, and the reason that like I have trouble like speaking to some of you about this is because not everyone was part of Learn Plan Profit throughout this entire experience. And what I mean by that is natural gas, as we knew it, was very bullish, right? If we look at the overall pattern for forward/NG and we look at the 180-day analysis, we saw that it was actively trending up, right? Until it started hitting that solid resistance at $3, right? Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but almost for like 4 or 5 months since January, right? 4 or 5 months, as it was very bullish. And again, just hear me out on this. Natural gas was extremely bullish. So when these natural gas reports would come out, due to UGAS being the bull natural gas, right, ETF, natural gas would push up during these reports. But we've noticed this is the 4th week in a row, if I'm not mistaken, that natural gas sells off. And it sells off during these reports, almost showing signs of, okay, maybe now it's bearish, right, for natural gas, and it reached a peak formation, and this might be time for a reversal. And then now it makes more sense on why, something like UGAS, sold off a little bit more aggressively than it does because of this potential reversal. So if you guys noticed, and again, I'm just trying to, yeah, as you can see, like with DGAS, before this, how many of you guys noticed this? With DGAS, on the 20-day 1-hour chart, it was almost making lower highs. As every time that it would push up, it was making lower lows, right? It came originally with a support at $22, and then a new support right around 20.50. So it was almost showing signs of a descending pattern, but then all of a sudden, it reverses back up, right? And it completely comes back up to this old resistance, but it was almost showing signs of a descending pattern. So it was showing signs of like decay, it was showing signs of a sell-off, a bearish pattern, and then because of this transition, it almost begins to start showing signs of an uptrend pattern. Does that make sense? And what I think that can be happening is that instead of and this is something that we'll have to follow up with, but instead of it now having a support between 21 and 23, we might have to go a little bit further back and see, okay, maybe it's going to have a resistance now at 24 and a support at 22. Instead of it showing signs of a descending pattern, now DGAS is going to be more of the one that's actively trending up. No, oh no, Adam, I'm not invested in Diaz at all, because I still saw, that Diaz was at a resistance. How are you doing, man? And it made sense on why Diaz was at a resistance right around $23. Like it definitely made sense, and I didn't want to risk it, right? But it's giving me this almost confirmation that now it's starting to make back higher highs, right? And it didn't make lower lows this last time. And also because of the natural gas reports and it becoming you know, in kind of like benefit of degas, now it's almost like hinting that like, okay, well maybe we want to take into consideration the idea that you guys might be the one that's going to continue to sell off. Does that make sense and stuff? So yeah. And if that's not making too much sense, I'll just let me know, and I'll try to come up with a way to explain it a little bit better. But the whole purpose of that is to talk about that, like, natural gas, or one specific inverse ETF was extremely bullish, and now it's not. And now it's starting to show signs of a reversal where the, inverse ETF, such as DGAS, is the one that is now pushing up, and UGAS probably now going to be pushing down. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, one quick second, team. All right, just one quick second. This is gonna be like a loud noise, so I'm gonna mute the mute the mic real quick. Just give me like 30 seconds. Of course. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Let's do it. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. So there. I actually kind of like what happened with WTI. Obviously, it's not in my benefit, but I think it's good for everyone to see that WTI was pushing up, hit a peak, MACD indicator, RSI, everything validated that peak, top VWAP, everything, right? It was almost like a perfect learn, plan, profit textbook trade. And what I mean by that is, it was trading in between the middle and bottom VWAP, signs of a downward pattern. We saw that it was oversold, but again, no signs of an uptrend. Broke above the middle VWAP and the EMA line, great, potential buy, entry, right? Pushed up, hit highs of the top VWAP, RSI looking oversold, and MACD peaking out. That makes sense, right? Sold off, starts to bounce, starts to consolidate MACD indicator. I got in a little bit too early thinking that it was going to bounce, sells off, MACD indicator, as you guys can see here, sells off, recovers, and then now it's back at the buy signal, and it's no longer, and it's making higher lows, right? And that would give us potential hope, right? Or not hope, but give us the idea that then we can start making higher highs, right? Oh, today has been very slow for me, says Harlow. I agree. It definitely has been very slow. Potential bounce at around the SMA line for LABU. Does it offer good potential? Nope, it's 1% margins. There we go. I personally don't like cron. I feel like cron gets overhyped up and it gets manipulated, and I don't like that so many people hype it up. I think it's showing signs of a descending pattern. You can see that when it really gets going, there's a lot of momentum behind it. I think it's all fake. I think it's all being manipulated. And I think it's probably one of the most popular stocks being pumped and dumped on StockTwits. FSLR, nope. Solid descending pattern, no signs of a confirmation of a reversal. Still resistance at 55 and a descending SMA. Okay. Very low volume. So, Brandon, like, what about AKER would you not like? How does this not obviously look like a stock that you don't want to invest in? It's a descending pattern, it's making lower lows. You could see that on the 1 year chart, 1 year, 1 day chart. You could see that it's a descending pattern. This is why it's so important to do your own due diligence and to see that if something is a descending pattern, that should be a huge, huge red flag, right? On why maybe this isn't the right stock for you to invest in. And there's a lot of tickers that are brought up to us, not as much as before, but Brandon, I would encourage you, if it's not too much to ask, to do your own due diligence on stocks that you potentially see value in, and make sure that you don't sell yourself the stock itself. There's nothing about this that I find attractive. Nothing that's showing long-term growth, nothing whatsoever. AKERCRON. It's all hype. It's all manipulation, and I personally don't see that as sustainability, right? So I would personally stay away, and I would build a very strong eye for these bad tickers. And you're going to see, like, if something's being pumped in a platform, then just know that it's probably too late to get in. Because if that many people know about it, then it's not a good deal, right? And do you really want to be part of a pump and dump? Like, yes, sometimes you can make money, but I can almost guarantee you that majority of the time you won't. So PSTG showing signs of an uptrend pattern. This is a pretty solid call out. Oh, Brandon, yeah, I totally. I hope that the way that I don't know if it was the way that I worded it, but no, I don't mean that to like discredit or anything like that. Like, I used to trade stocks much worse than AKER. I'm just saying that, like, if we really want to focus on consistent growth and understand why it's growing, I would personally stay away from tickers like that. So I'm happy to hear that you've been able to experience good growth. Let's just focus on that quality, on those quality trades. So right now, with one thing that we see right now going on with PSTG is that it's near that support. It's already pushed up. It's already recovered quite a bit. And you can see that there's a potential resistance right around $24. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set that alert there and then follow up with it. Again, if you want to call something out, it has to be in the ticker call out format. If not, then I'm not going to break it down. And make sure that your stock is actively trending up and that it's something that we see value in this day. If it's not actively trending up and you call it out, I'm not going to take any more call outs from you. Actively trending up and shows potential of like an uptrend as of this week, not potentially, but as of right now. So no signs of a confirmation on a reversal just yet. So it's showing signs of it being more on the oversold stage, but I'm going to set the alert for the break above 40. So I like the horizontal pattern that it's kind of showing, but no signs of a confirmation just yet. Right. Mark Hall saying thoughts on trading during extended hours, pre and post. I jumped into you guys a little bit too early this morning. So the way that I utilize pre-market, and you guys have noticed based on my previous trades, I will trade during any hour if the opportunity is worth it. The opportunity to get out or the opportunity to get in. So if I see something overbought and it's during extended hours, I will sell. If it's something that is oversold right? So it's low, it's a low price point, and it shows signs of a decent recovery, then I will buy. So it doesn't matter to me when that opportunity is presented. I can utilize these extended hours to take advantage of that opportunity. But again, the sole focus is getting in for a good deal. So Mark, I do understand why you tried to get in for at a low point and stuff like that. I don't know where you got in and stuff like that, but obviously it's selling off. It's building a support right around whatever this is, 60.50, and resistance right around 61. So you might have gotten in at the very peak. The thing that I would ask yourself is, like, it didn't give a confirmation for an uptrend, and I've done this multiple times, Mark. It's not something that just yourself made the mistake on, but it was not trading above the middle VWAP, and you got in a little bit too early. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you identify that and why we could have waited and learned from it, right? So yeah. What's going on, Randall? All right, I'm gonna do just these last call outs and then I'm done. I'm done doing call outs. I'm gonna talk about my swing trade and then that's gonna be it. Is that cool? Okay, so Z showing signs of a potential reversal. We already talked about this one yesterday in the Sunday stock talk. So we have an alert set for the break above 60, as you guys can see right here. It's still showing signs of a pending reversal. So I do, if I'm not mistaken, have this here. Oh no, I don't. Okay, well, all right. I already had the alert set here. So it was selling off. It approached that SMA, normally a good buy area. Starting to reverse back up. MACD indicator, RSI, everything was looking good. Now I just wanted to start breaking resistance levels, and that's why I have my alert set for the break above 60. So thank you again for the friendly reminder. What's going on, Lisa? So you're calling out ticker symbol grub. Okay, so potential reversal. I do see that. So again, is it making higher highs? No, it's still kind of consolidated, and you can see that here. So something that I would like to see is for it to actually start breaking resistance levels and start making higher highs out of the norm, right? Because again, 3 stages in a reversal. 3 stages in a reversal. Let's not forget about that. There's the rejection, the sell-off, right? When it holds below the EMA line. The consolidation, when sometimes it breaks above the EMA line, it goes back to the support, breaks above the EMA line, it goes back to the support, and then it consolidates. It's almost a horizontal pattern. And then the confirmation, right? When it starts to make higher highs, when it starts to actively trend above and pull back and hold above the EMA line, right? And as of right now, we just don't have that for grab. I do see this as a potential reversal, and that's why I'll add it here to my watch list. So the pending reversal watch list. Okay, so this one has definitely pushed up. We talked about this one yesterday. It's showing signs of an uptrend, resistance as of right now around $28. As long as it continues to hold, I still find it to be a better entry right around that $27 price point, fairly above the EMA line. But the MACD indicator, everything looks good. Looking at it intraday, volume is very low on the specific ticker. I'm not a huge fan of that. But yeah, I would definitely still try to focus more on getting in for a good deal. Within this range, it's showing signs of a potential peak right here, right around 28. So I would either wait for the break above 28 or a sell-off and a pullback to around $27. That's kind of what I would be a little bit more patient for. I think we broke down team. A lot of these tickers, guys, we broke them down in the Sunday stock talk. So again, 3 stages in a reversal. Like we've talked about, again, I do see why this is a good potential buy. Again, as you can see, we've done our due diligence on this one already. It's kind of it was in the rejection phase. It could be in the potential consolidation phase. It's not making higher highs, right? It's not breaking resistance levels. So that's why I have my alert set here, so I can be alerted when it does. MACD indicator, RSI, all that looks good. Again, I just wanted to actively be trending up. It pushed up, great. You guys kind of see how it's like there's a horizontal pattern. It's not really actively trending up. So if you want to day trade it, great. But I think you're mainly calling it out for the swing trade potential. and it's not actively trending up again. So yeah. Thank you again for the call out though. Very low volume. I could tell right away. Yeah, I would completely stay away from this. 100% I would stay away. You could tell very low volume and descending pattern. Yep, descending pattern, very low volume, not something that I want to be a part of. Of course, Mark. Ticker symbol team. Looks like a couple of you guys called that one out. Okay, potential buy. Again, it broke above the EMA line, but it's not being able to break above $45. So we'll set the alert for the break above that and then kind of go from there. MACD indicator, all that looks good. Pharmaceutical company, I'm not a huge fan of that. Doesn't really mean anything to you, but just based on my experience, I've taken a couple losses when I used to day trade a lot with these like pharmaceutical and therapeutic companies. So I have like a negative connotation towards it, just based on my experience, right? But again, definitely makes sense on why there's this potential pending reversal. So thank you again for the friendly reminder. We'll have to follow up with it if you can remind us when it starts to push up. Okay, solid signs of an uptrend. Again, no reversal confirmation just yet. We'll set the alert and kind of go from there. So still getting rejected by the EMA indicator. Okay. Alrighty. Aaron. Oh, you guys cracked me up. How many of you guys have ever done that? You guys enter a position and then it reaches a resistance and then you're like, crap, I have no day trades. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it offers swing trade potential, so you're investing in something that's actively trending up. That's good, and this is why it's so important. I think this is a perfect example. You know, this is why I like focusing on stocks that have horizontal patterns or uptrend patterns are not the only stocks or patterns that I personally trade or like need everyone else to trade, but the reason, and I want you guys to know, the reason that I talk about them so often is because of this. I know that as we're just getting started, there are going to be traders that are going to make simple little mistakes that might cost a lot of money if you were to invest in something that continues to sell off, right? But if I can provide the simple step, the simple criteria to not invest in descending patterns, then it would almost make sense that, you know, even if they end up making a small little mistake because they don't get in for the best entry, because it's an ascending uptrend pattern, eventually it will recover, right? Based on the ascending uptrend pattern, you have a higher probability just due to time for it to recover. So, and that is why these simple little mistakes that we can make that I've made time after time, it's just a simple little best practice that can hope that now I hope you guys understand on why I'm so like strict for our new traders to not invest in anything that's descending. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean that you guys have to, like, I can't tell you guys what to trade or anything like that, right? But it's just I could only just suggest like what I would do. Yeah, almost like a safeguard. Exactly. WTI. I went in for a day trade. And this is where I'm going to end it at. I'm going to talk about the one that I really see a lot of swing trade potential on and see if it performs the way that I expect it to this week. It's the one that I plan as of right now. Again, it might change and I will update you. But I really like kind of waiting out for Mondays to see how they play out to kind of determine my week on what I plan to invest in based on what's oversold and what's overbought. Perfect. Can you guys do me the biggest favor and write down, just do not invest in down patterns. Can we all write that down? And I know this is like very like elementary, but for all those that are new, just write it down. I can guarantee you, and put it next to where you trade. So if you make that mistake, and once you will make that mistake, as I've made it multiple times, unless you're extremely disciplined, which I wasn't, and a lot of new traders aren't. Just write that down so you can remind yourself every day to not invest in descending patterns. Don, there's no way that your hands are broken, but you're able to message me on this board. Yeah, I do agree, Austin. It is having a hard time. So, Marco, that can be it. I think there's a series of different things when it comes down to these natural gas ETFs of what could lead to that. That there's seasons, right? And I don't worry too much about the seasons. I just wait for the confirmation of these reversals. Like everyone can try to say like, there's these certain seasons that natural gas can do very well because there's sometimes a surplus or there's sometimes a shortage. And you can try to trade based off of those seasons. What I try to focus on more is just confirmation of, all right, what's bullish, what's bearish, and then focus on those patterns. And again, we're starting to see this thing kind of consolidate. So right around the middle view up, we're seeing it kind of consolidate just around this price point. So not the best sign, but I like it. Sweet. First of all, happy to have you here. Thank you, Yen, for all those. I don't know how many of you are tuning in for the first time. I could only imagine that some people haven't even started the course, so they don't know that like how to access um, either the Discord chat or the live streams. So how many of you guys are joining for the first time? Sweet, first time, first time. Second time, Aaron. Andrea, Francis, Jason, what's up, what's up? First time, shut up, Austin. Just kidding. Austin's one of our experienced traders, and he just loves messing with us. Okay, 40th time, what's going on, Junie? What I wanted to ask is there any feedback for those that are just getting started or joining for the first time? How do you feel about this stream? Is there anything that I could do better? So normally how it works is last week I was trading or day trading very aggressively. So there was a lot of positions of entries and exits that, people were able to experience. But what I want to do now is talk about some day trades, maybe take some if I see value in it, to recap on the trades that you see value in, and then do some swing trades, as in like talking about them and planning those out. Everything I hoped for it would be. Oh, sweet. They all have to say offline. They say offline because I haven't gone live yet. Very good as always. I like it. Yeah, it could definitely. I mean, it could just mean that does bear markets affect day trading? It can, but as long as you know how to scalp, which is something that I'm going to make a video about in the course, then you should have a better. It's just a little bit riskier because it's continuously selling off. Yeah, I agree. And that's why and I'll explain that in just a little bit. Give me 1 second. I like it. All right. Sweet. Where's Ricky? What the heck? I'm right here. I know, I agree. Why are there only 60 likes on this video? no one else can see about the Learn Plan Profit group, so might just be me on my end, but it helps when you repeat the ticker. Video quality sucks on my end. Okay, I 100%. So I'll make sure that every time I break something down, I talk about and enunciate properly the ticker symbol. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that suggestion. Will we be seeing live streams of the Fidelity count? No. So it's not going to be live streams. It's going to be more like recaps because I'm going to be focusing more on short-term swing trades. You probably during these live streams, like again, because I don't know when I'm going to enter these positions. So if I happen to take the position during one of these live streams or during one of the YouTube live streams, great. But the whole point of the challenge is to focus on quality and that entry can be anywhere. So how much do you hold of your monthly earnings for taxes? That I mean, Joe, that's not something that I would say that should be your biggest worry as of right now. As one getting started, once you start making money and once you start continuously growing your account, then I would speak to your. It's all different because we're all in different tax brackets. So you can speak to your tax specialist. You can stop at like an H&R Block, or my CPA, due to my tax bracket, tells me I should be putting away a certain amount based on my overall income. So it's due to that. All right, sweet. All right, yeah, let's do that. Um, ooh, that's not good. Selling off. And we saw it. We saw it making lower highs, right? So it makes sense. Something that we'll have to follow up with. But all right, so we talked about the day trades. We did a couple breakdowns for the group. And now the last thing that I'm going to talk about is what I'm watching for a potential swing trade. Many of you probably can already guess what it is. I want to see, because DGAS is so overbought and UGAS is so oversold, which one's going to reverse, right? I'm going to be focusing on still on this 20-day analysis, and the range that I normally trade UGAS on is 62 to highs of 68. Based on this descending pattern that I think that UGAS is going to be going through, I'm going to use the SMA as the resistance. So I'm going to be very conservative and call $66 the resistance. And as of right now, I'm still going to go based off of the confirmation of 62. So from 62 to 66, we see a total percentage potential of a little bit over 6%. So great, right? It still has a lot of margin to recover before I get that confirmation. So I'm going to give it time. I'm going to be patient. And if it recovers, great. I think that it offers, and my weekly goal for this challenge is 5%, right? And I believe that I can do that with one position this week if I get that confirmation. My goal is to take no more than 3 positions throughout the entire week through the life of this growth challenge. Make sense? So, and again, these are short-term swing trades. So, I buy it one day and I can sell it the following or 2-3 days later after that, right? And let's see. All right. But let's actually break it down. I'm gonna just break it down on a sticky note, and then make sure that we have it noted, and then go from there. Someone's calling out ticker symbol Gush. I wouldn't necessarily say that this one would be the best as of right now. It still has more margin for a sell-off, and on this 180-day analysis, yeah, I mean, it makes sense on why it can bounce here. Definitely. I mean, it is oversold. Potential bounce potential right around this area right here. So it's in good deal territory. Based on previous patterns, it tends to bounce around the SMA indicator. Yeah, I definitely do like it. It's just not going to be the one I think I'm going to focus on for this week. But I definitely see why it is that you see value in it. I really like horizontal patterns, and I know some people really like ascending uptrend patterns. So just trade whatever you feel most comfortable with, and I feel much more comfortable with horizontal patterns. So as you guys can see here, it's approaching back a previous old resistance, which has now become a new support. We'll see if we get a bounce. If we do, great. So as of right now, UGAZ, that's UGAZ, support and resistance. Support, I see it to be right around 60 as of right now. We'll follow up with that. And resistance right around 68. My desired entry point and sell point. My desired entry point would be $62 plus. My desired exit point would be right around $66 plus, right? Total margin of profit is 6%. And then my stop loss, when I would cut losses, would be when there's a break of pattern, and that would most likely be when it breaks below the EMA line or something like that. So I'm probably going to be a little bit more aggressive with cutting losses on this growth challenge to make sure that I manage my risk the entire time. So I feel like Gush matches WTI almost exactly. Anyone else feel like that? I can see why it is that you could try to see that pattern, but no, I wouldn't say that not exactly, definitely not exactly. Because if you see last time, Gush made new highs, like this was the old high, and then it made new highs. It did a double top. WTI did nothing like that. Like this was its previous high, did not make higher highs. So yeah, but I could see why the reversal would be possible. Let's set those alerts. The MACD indicator bar is still showing signs of potential sell-off, so that's why I don't find it to be as attractive right now. And the RSI is still pointing down, so still a little bit more margin for maybe a sell-off and then the reversal. And from 39 to maybe 42, even 41, 5.39. That could be a potential trade, right? I like that. But as you see, it's still selling off. Let's wait for the reversal in between middle and top VWAP. And let's capitalize on locking those profits. Hit our weekly goal, call it a week, and focus on the following one. What do you guys think? Are we good? USLV, I know a lot of people are talking about this one. USLV is still showing signs of a sell-off. I do think that it is a good deal, but it has not reversed. It has not showed any indication of a reversal. So because of that, I'm not talking about it because I don't want anyone to take a position based on, like, under my view, that when something is not actively trending up. So how is it that the EMA line gets so far away from the candles? So think about it. What happened that made, like, the EMA line, the exponential moving average obviously moves much quicker than the simple moving average. But again, if something is selling off, it's like the EMA line can only be like could only move at such a certain pace, right? And if the sell-off is very aggressive, that's why when we take into consideration when something is very overbought or oversold, I always take that into consideration of like, okay, well, this thing's gonna have to either pull back to the EMA line or pull up to the EMA line as it's descending. So something that you'll become a little bit more familiar with. So USLV burned me last week, yes, but again, so I hope that we kind of learned that USLV was still descending and no confirmation. So trying to force the entry and sell yourself the ticker isn't going to do yourself any due diligence. Again, I want to cover something that I think is very important, and I'm going to have more swing stocks to look out for that I'll be sharing with the group once I do my due diligence later today. So just hit my 3% goal for the week. Wow, I love that, Kevin. Bro, it's like barely an hour after the market opens for the week, and you're already killing it. You have to leave some profit for the rest of us. But what I wanted to cover is just the simple understanding. So hard lesson learned for sure. Kenny, I'm right there with you. It's definitely, upsetting sometimes when that happens, but it's good to know that, you won't ever make that mistake again, right? Because you, yeah. What I wanted to talk about was, today was the idea of understanding the direction of what it is that you are investing in. That is one of the most beneficial, and I have to make a video on it in the course. Understanding the direction of what you're investing in. And what I mean by that is understanding if it's an ascending uptrend pattern, horizontal pattern, and the most important part for me that has, when I'm actually not trying to overtrade, but the most important part to me on why I've been able to call out these reversals and focus on these, good margin to profit is focusing on getting a good deal on something that is over, so it's oversold, right? So it's in good deal territory and waiting for the confirmation of the uptrend. So there has to be an indication, a pattern that you can view and that others will be able to identify on why it's a good buy, right? There's a reason, not just based on what you hope happens and because it's oversold, but because there's an indication of a reversal as it's a good deal. Make sense? And the key part of that is the confirmation. And that is something that so many traders, as myself, sometimes lack, and waiting for the confirmation. So when it comes down to taking your next position, just make sure that, because I'm getting a lot of questions through Discord chat, and I don't mind them to an extent, but a lot of you guys are asking me, should you take this position? You should be telling me why this stock is a good deal. You should be that confident. It's in a good deal territory. It's showing signs of it making higher highs, and it's already confirmed the reversal. That's what you should be telling me. But many of you are not. Many of you are telling me, hey, like, do you think this could be a good deal? Do you think it can reverse? Why not just wait for it to happen? So I'm here to assist you, and I'm here to cover any questions that you have. But make sure that, again, we're not here to spoon feed anyone. And the reason that I'm saying this, and I know this might be a little aggressive, but is to, slap you guys back into place when it comes down to being self-sufficient traders. You guys are all smart people. Let's make sure that there's a reason for everything it is that we do. Not based on my opinion, not based on Joe Smo's opinion, no one else's opinion, but your eye for value. Good deal, confirmation, and showing a proper indication of a recovery or an uptrend. Is that cool? I don't get your question. What's your plan for WTI? I already explained that, Jay. Okay. Right, let's see. All right. I don't mean literally slap you guys, but yes. Never listen to Joe Smo. You guys are funny. All right. But I mean that's really just it as of for right now. I'm gonna keep you guys up to date with my WTI position. As the day goes on. I'm actually running on 2 hours of sleep. I'm so tired, and that's why I struggle to wake up. So I need to take a power nap, and I know that sounds funny, but I'm gonna take a 30-minute nap. I'm gonna come back, film the video for YouTube, and then start working on answering questions and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll see what I do. I'm going to set my alerts right now for what's it called, ticker symbol WTI, and I have my alerts set for you guys as well. So Alrighty. Yeah, I like that. No investings, no investigations without confirmation. That is hilarious. I like it. Digital slap on the face. I like it. Yep. Yeah, so it looks like WTI is still getting rejected. It's making lower highs. All right, guys. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate your guys' time. Thank you guys again for tuning in. And if you just didn't want to share your suggestion, you guys know that I'm always trying to better our live streams. If there is actually something that you think that I can do better, and that would benefit the overall group as a whole, I would encourage you, if it's not too much to ask, to direct message me or Justin via the Learn Plan Profit Discord chat. I would love to, like, if it's actually beneficial for the entire group, then I'd love to do it, right? So thank you guys again, and continue working hard, continue following your dreams, let your passion be what drives your success, and if it's not too much to ask, again, please keep those direct messages under 150 characters, and I'd greatly appreciate it. I am going to give each and every single one of you until the end of tonight. Ooh. Ticker symbol Z just broke above its resistance. Just a nice little friendly reminder. But I'm going to give you guys until the end of tonight because I haven't came up with my number one stocks just yet. Each one of you has to have a ticker call out format. I know if you're not trading this week, then don't worry about it. But I would still at least like you to become more comfortable setting up your plan. So we have a group alerts section, and it has to be in the ticker symbol format. And again, that's something that you'll become a little bit more comfortable with later on. But as you guys can see right here, you guys can go to the announcement section and scroll up. And the ticker call out format, you guys can copy it, right? It's right here, and it's also in the course as well. You go here, your number one stock, just one stock that you see value in for the entire week, right? You go here to the, where is it at? Group alert section, and this is where you share it, right? So it looks like only one person has shared it today, a couple people yesterday. It is a weekly, if you are trading with us on a weekly basis, it is your weekly duty to break down, pick, and plan your number one stock. Again, if you're not doing this on a weekly basis, you're not working towards something. You're not doing your own due diligence. You're not managing your risk. One stock by the end of today, 10, 15 minutes. Go through your watch list. Go through the actual group alerts and break those stocks down and see which one you see the most value in. That's actively trending up for this week, that offers a margin of profit that accommodates your weekly goal, and that offers a pattern in which you understand and that you find attractive. Is that cool? You scared me, Louis. Why do you have to say that? Holy moly, WTI. It didn't even do anything, and you're scaring the crap out of me. I thought it sold off, and I was like, but yeah, so I want to thank you guys again for, what about when I post a chart, do I still need to type it all out? Well, Don, if you can, great. If you can't, then you don't have to. It's up to you. But yeah, thank you guys again for everything that you guys do. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. Let's do something. Again, a lot of you guys are starting the course right now. Don't overwhelm yourself. Focus on 20 to 30 minute increments of learning, and then test everything that you learn. So learn, plan, and then we profit, right? Learn, practice, learn, practice. So again, the course should actually take about 2 weeks for you to complete, because you're going to be learning in 20 to 30 minute increments. Don't overwhelm yourself. I know that you just want to push it and get started. I need this material to stick. So take notes, learn what you learn, right? Practice it, and then make sure that it makes sense. Any questions? I'm here to assist. Thank you guys again. Hope you guys all have an amazing Monday, amazing start to your week. I'm super pumped, super excited, and we're not off to a bad note. So let's make sure we keep this momentum going and work towards our weekly goal, but let's not force it. So thank you guys again, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team. Don't fight the sleep. I know, I need to go to sleep. Bye.